Still alive, but I'm barely breathing. Just praying to a God that I don't believe in. Cause I got time while she got freedom. Cause when the heart breaks, no, it don't break even.
Hi guys, and in case you didn't figure out, we are definitely talking heartbreak this week, and we're talking about the different stages of the breakup. So you fought to hold on to this relationship to the point of being all consumed. You don't want to believe that it's actually ending. You can't believe it. Even if the relationship was awful, even unbearable at times, the idea of living without that person, it just feels unacceptable. So it starts to become clear to you that maybe the two of you weren't going to make it. You're finally starting to kind of go over what happened. You start saying stuff like, don't leave, okay, I'll give it up, but you still feel anything but okay. So entering a relationship really sucks. There's no good way to say it, period. The process of breaking up and experiencing the messy emotions that go with it. I don't know if I have real words for that. You go through these stages, and you probably at some point feel like you're gonna die alone because of what had happened. But typically you go through the same stages of grief and loss: the denial, the bargaining, the anger, the acceptance, the depression, and then I'm gonna add a new stage at the end. So bear with me through this. Let's go through denial. Accepting the stinging truth that the relationship is no longer working, or that your partner no longer wants to be with your awesome self. That can be tough, but remember, you could be the greatest person in the whole wide world, but there's still someone out there who just doesn't want or doesn't work well with you at the moment. So instead of checking your phone every 5 seconds for the text of reconciliation, or even worse, backsliding into your ex's bed, look for some kind of comfort by taking yourself out of your regular comfort zone. Maybe find time for friends and family who might have been left along the way of the relationship. But denial, I think that first stage, you go through that for a while because it's like the shock. You can't actually believe that it's happening. Then you get to the bargaining stage. What are you willing to do? You do those things to avoid this ending from ever happening, or accepting that it's over. You'll be better, more attentive partner. You'll promise that everything that's been wrong will be made right. The thought of being without your ex is so intolerable that you'll do anything to go away with the pain to win that person back. But at what cost? Of course, you're not being logical at this point. You're standing on the edge of the feelings like an abyss. You feel like you're falling and nobody understands, nobody knows. So you cling to that hope that you could prevent yourself from losing this feeling. However, during this stage, when you promise to fix all the things between the two of you, you're placing the entire burden of the relationship on yourself. And it does take two people to make a relationship work. So somewhere inside, you know that bargaining is definitely distracting you from the loss, but the reality is inevitably and crashing on you that it's over, and it's really over, and that this is not going to work. And as much as you try to be superhuman, you can't. It feels like a relapse. I call it like a relapse phase for people who go through addiction, because you just want it so bad, that high that you get from the relationship, but you realize it's not there. And then you move to that next stage, which is called anger. Doing something drastic when you're absolutely furious isn't worth the consequences, but maybe you get to a point where you connect that feelings of anger and that plummeting unknown, where you evoke this immobilizing fear of dread, fear to the point where it trumps into anger. Therefore, when anger sets in, because you've let some of that fear go, at least temporarily, you start to feel empowered. Empowered because at least there are shades of remembering you. You start to see yourself again, remembering what matters, that you deserve more in a relationship. Depending on your specific faith in life, your family experiences, as well as the breakup, no matter what is directed, that anger is supposed to empower you not to take others down with you. You choose to see it that way because it's supposed to lift you to the next stage and help you get to the deadening of the loss faster. And if that doesn't work, maybe you go through the next stage, which is kind of like an apathy or depression, where it's quite literally a feeling of, I would say, nothingness, like you've been trapped in your own body, and without having any of these feelings or emotions or concerns for yourself and the people around you. And instead of feeling immersed in processing the information, you feel that you may have thought that your person is not your person anymore. And for that reason, you feel empty, like a hollow tree, like you've made a mistake, that you can't get over it. And you sit here for a while and nobody gets it because they aren't there with you. But guess what? They have been, and they are. And you start to let it sink in, that you realize that it's over. And it's so hard to walk away because you realize those years that you put in, the connection that you made, it's not coming back anymore. And I think it's so easy to talk about it, but as you go through it, you feel like these stages are never ending. But I'll tell you this, it's gonna be alright, because you'll get to the next stage.
I know you love her, but it's over, mate. It's never easy to walk away, little girl, it'll be okay.
And you get to that last stage, which is acceptance. You know when something clicks and suddenly you get it. I mean, you really, really get it. Like you find this peace with your loss. Like, it's little by little, but you start to feel ready to move on. Perhaps you're not able to look back on the relationship with a smile on your face, but you know it's definitely time to move on. There's only one way from here, and that's to you. And this is the last stage I'm going to add. There's hope. This is, to me, the final stage. You made it through all the heartbreak, the back and forth, the unsettling emotions. You finally reached a point where you can start looking forward to your future. You're ready to try again. And you just know that someone else is out there for you that deserves you. So I want you to remember this. And this might have been a long video this week, but we all go through these stages when we go through a breakup. And it's not that simple, and it's not easy to explain to other people. But don't rush your stages, because what you get on the other end of that, you won't be able to get any other way besides sitting through it. So you go back through the stages. Denial, bargaining, anger, depression, acceptance, and my last stage I'm adding, it's hope. It's hope. There is hope.
I'll feel it too.
We can do it, guys.
You look happier with you.